This is the third day of February 2020, and the novel coronavirus outbreak has so far claimed 362 lives, one of these being reported from the Philippines, the first death outside of China. Now, there have been 17,488 confirmed cases of this coronavirus. 2,298 of them are said to be in critical condition. This translates to about 13% of those that have been infected. Coronavirus is a family of viruses that cause mild illnesses like the common cold, all the way to illnesses of severity like SARS, MERS, which was the camel flu, and now this current Wuhan coronavirus, the novel coronavirus of 2019. What are the signs and symptoms that one may exhibit when they have the coronavirus? One, the signs and symptoms may be mild all the way to severe. Mild symptoms are, for example, high fever or just moderately high temperature. They may have a sore throat, they may have breathing difficulties. Some may develop diarrhea, and when the coronavirus is in its severe form, then one may develop very high temperature, pneumonia, kidney failure, and unfortunately, eventually death. This coronavirus takes 2 to 14 days of incubation period before now the symptoms can manifest. The most important one is to observe cough etiquette. Cover your nose and mouth while you're coughing or sneezing. If you cannot cover with your palms, you can use the elbow to cover your nose and mouth. 2 is to wash hands at every point with running soap and water where possible. If they're hand sanitizers, then one can use these hand sanitizers. But the most important one is to observe cough etiquette. The second one is to avoid contact with anyone with a history of travel to any of the regions that have been high risk, particularly China, to avoid contact or any unnecessary travel to these high risk areas so that they can steer clear of the coronavirus. The coronavirus does not have a cure so far. This virus, remember, has been around since the 1960s. It's a range of viruses, and there's been no cure, there's no vaccine for this particular coronavirus. So once diagnosed, the management of this particular coronavirus is supportive. What does this mean? If one has a high fever, the temperature is controlled, there are medications for that. If one is dehydrated, then they'll get fluids to rehydrate them back to normal. If one has diarrhea, then this one is also managed. If one's immunity is strong, then it will kick in and help the body to fight the disease and help it to run its course. Now, there have been questions about herbal remedies for this coronavirus. So far, no herbal remedy has been shown to cure this disease. They may be supportive, they may help to boost the body's immunity, but they do not cure the coronavirus. If one has these signs and symptoms, they should visit the nearest health facility so that the health practitioners, the healthcare workers, can be able to manage it as per the guidelines and the protocols that have been set out. Now, Kenya currently is not in a position to test for coronavirus. As you've heard, Kenya has been sending samples to South Africa. The lab requires to be capacitated, and currently the public health laboratory is not in a position to do that, but the World Health Organization is in the process of facilitating this lab with materials and the kits that would be able to test coronavirus in country so that the country do not have to send the samples abroad for confirmation of all the isolated or all the suspected cases of the coronavirus. As at now, the country has been able to manage the 4 people who've been isolated or who have been suspected to have come in contact with the coronavirus. Now, the country is able to manage these individual isolated cases. The Ministry of Health says it's prepared to handle the coronavirus, but the actual test of the preparedness will come if, and in the unfortunate event that we get an outbreak of coronavirus in the country. But so far, the individual isolated cases have been managed well as per the set out protocols and guidelines by the World Health Organization. To detect the coronavirus, a high index of suspicion should exist. And what do we mean by a high index of suspicion? One, there's a set out criteria or guidelines on who can be a suspected case of the coronavirus. First is somebody has to have a sudden onset of these respiratory symptoms that we talked about. It could be a dry cough, it could be fever, it could be sore throat and shortness of breath and breathing difficulties, whether they require hospitalization or not. Second is that in the last 14 days, they should have come in contact or in close contact with somebody who is suspected to have had coronavirus or who had been managed with the coronavirus. Or they should have had recent history of a travel to one of the high-risk areas where the coronavirus is currently ongoing. Last but not least is if they have worked or they have attended to anyone in a health facility that is currently managing the 2019 novel coronavirus. So that is the case criteria to identify somebody who can be high risk or who can possibly have the coronavirus and spread it. Whether to detect when somebody is asymptomatic or does not have symptoms, that is a bit difficult to tell unless they fit into these certain criteria. Are Kenyan foods safe? So far, yes, Kenyan foods are safe. Remember that this coronavirus is suspected to have originated from bat meat or from people having eaten bats. And we know that Kenya as a country, we do not regularly or we do not eat bats as part of our regular meal. So it's highly unlikely that our foods are or can cause us this coronavirus.